Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Eva and I'm a millennial who is absolutely obsessed with makeup. If you are not new, yes, it has been a minute. August was crazy for me, but we are back. I was going to film a what's new in makeup video per people's requests, but then NATASHA DENONA just had to release a new palette. And on top of that, it is a nude palette and a warm palette. Two things that I love absolutely deeply and truly. So in today's video, we are going to be talking all about using, swatching, first impressioning the new NATASHA DENONA I Need a Warm palette. Let's start off by talking about this particular launch. I hope this lighting is okay. It is like super stormy and rainy and almost, I feel like, pitch black here in Seattle. So hopefully this lighting is okay. Let's start off by talking more about the launch. So the NATASHA DENONA I Need a Warm palette is currently available everywhere. So it's available at Ulta if you want to get your Ulta points. It's available at Sephora. It is also available on the NATASHA DENONA website, and they were kind enough to give me a discount code that I will have up on the screen and down below. That discount code will get you 15% off, and then I do earn a small commission. Obviously, no pressure, buy where it makes sense, but 15% off is a pretty nice discount to get on a newly launched item. Okay, so I have the description in front of me. We are going to be reading from. So this palette retails for $69. It has 15 shades of warm nudes and rich champagnes featuring two innovative new finishes: a slip cream matte and a metal gloss. I'm gonna be really interested as we go through this to play around with the new formulas and figure out, are they actually innovative or is it just another neutral palette? Also, if you are new here, please note, I am not a makeup application expert. So what I'm going to be doing later on is I'm going to be applying these to my eyes and letting you know if this is a palette for beginners. Even though I am makeup obsessed, I would say as far as eyeshadows go, I still consider myself a beginner. You will also know by the end of this video, if you are also a beginner, if this eyeshadow palette is worth you investing in. Let's talk about first impression of the shades and the color story. So, I mean, I really like the color story. It is, yes, a basic neutral palette, but let's get real. I work in corporate America. I am doing demure, cutesy makeup, as Jules would say. I'm not doing a green cut crease to go to the office. So for me, I like a boring palette because that's what I'm going to use on an everyday basis. So I feel like this color story is really nice. It's not overly warm either. I feel like sometimes some of the warm palettes lean a little too orangey. In my opinion, those kind of restrict themselves to be more summer colors, where this one is definitely universal and I could see myself wearing these colors year round. Let's get into the formulas and swatches. I thought it would kind of be interesting if I actually swatched them for the first time live so you can get my first impressions. So let's start off. We are going to go across the top row down. Let's start off with the first matte, and this shade is called Soft Spot. We will go down the arms here. Ooh, okay, that swatched rather nicely, not patchy, and it's blending really beautifully on my wrist. So next, let's go ahead and do the shade Fancy. And Fancy is a pretty shimmery champagne. Moving into Mellow, which is the next matte shade. Next, we're going into Phenomena, which this one in the promo images, they make it very clear that it is some sort of duochrome with a green to bronze shift. And in the pan, I'm hoping it will pick up. I don't know if it's picking up on camera. It's this shade here. It's picking up a little bit, but it shifts from green to that bronze shade. That is really smooth. Okay, so here is the duochrome shade. There we go. You can kind of see it on camera, that shift. Yeah, there we go. You can see that. That is a really, really pretty shade. I am a sucker for duochromes because I like one and done eyeshadows, and duochromes are a great option because you honestly just need that one to get a really nice effect. Okay, next we are going into the shade Ripe, which is another of the mattes. So here we have the first row of the palette. Row number 2, starting off with, actually we're going to start over here. This is the shade Elm, and this is another shimmer shade. Kind of similar to that champagne shade in the first row, but a little bit different. And I will go ahead and afterwards do arm swatches with all of the shades lined up, so we'll be able to do some comparisons. Next, I'm going into the shade Snug, a very pretty, that shade was really creamy. This is like a creamy metallic bronze. Wow, that is beautiful. Oh, looks like I have another shadow on my arm over here. And let me know in the comments, do you like seeing live swatch videos or do you prefer to just see them all lined up? Let me know. Happy to, in the future, do whatever you guys prefer. Okay, this is the shade Vim, matte brown. Ooh, that one is really pigmented. Next up, we have this super sparkly, pretty bronze shade called Push. And then the last one on this row we have is another matte, and this is called Fervor. This is my type of brown. I would say this is like a, it's not quite a milk chocolate, but I don't know. It has like maybe a little of like, yeah, it has like a little bit of an orange base, I would say. I love this type of shade. Anything that's like orangey or kind of has like red undertone really makes blue eyes pop. So I love those shades. On to the final row. Let's go ahead and start off with Pep. I kind of want to know the stories behind the names because some of these names are quite random. Okay, here is Pep. Pep is another neutral brown, this time a darker one. Next up we have Homie, which is another creamy metallic. Next up we have Hanker, and Hanker is, I would say, more of a shimmer compared to the metallics. So Hank is this one. Yeah, definitely more on the shimmer side as opposed to like that creamy, almost like wet looking metallic. I do like that her palettes have a variety of finishes. Okay, that one here. Next up we have Dynamism. This is another metallic. And then we are to our last shade, and this is the shade Flash Over, and this is a very, very soft matte. Like the formula in that one, I don't know if it was pressed differently or if it's a different formula, is so silky. Whoa. Wow, wow, wow. That is very, very silky. So that one is Flash Over. So here is row 3 of the swatches. I will go ahead and insert the arm swatches, but before I do, as a reminder, there are 2 new formulas in this palette. There is the Slip Cream Matte and then the Metal Gloss. So for the new formulas, we have Flash Over in that Slip Cream Matte, which is interesting because that's the one I remarked on when I was doing the live swatches about just how creamy and beautiful and like light and how special that matte shade was. So that makes sense. And then for the Metal Gloss, we have Snug as a metal gloss. And then we have Homey. Homey is another one of the metal gloss. Now, if I'm being honest, I don't really know if I notice too much of a difference between the metal gloss formula and just like the normal formula. This is Homey right here, which is one with the metal gloss, and then this is Elm. I mean, you know what? I guess the metal gloss, it feels like it's slightly less powdery when I'm looking at it. And then when I swatch it, it does actually look a little glossier. Okay. Okay, I do think there's a little bit of a difference. It is like wetter looking than just the normal shimmer. What we're gonna do now is I'm gonna go ahead and put together a very, very simple eye look so I can give a first impression of the formulas. I will make sure I use 2 of the new formulas in my look, and I'll let you know if I do think it is good for beginners before I move into comparisons and overall thoughts. For brushes, I am going to be using the new collaboration between Esom and Sophia Sees Beauty. Sophia is a friend of mine. She's amazing. She's so helpful with YouTube stuff. She's one of the people who inspired me to create my channel, and she gave me so much advice, and she's just lovely. So I will have the link to her Esom brush collection linked down below. But we are going to be using some of those today in the eye look. Zoomed you in nice and close. To start off, I'm going to take the V27 brush, which is like a very nice kind of like miniature, would say like paw brush almost. And I'm just going to prime my lids. I have really been dealing with creasing lately as I'm getting older. I'm just noticing, honestly, in the last 3 months, so many things are creasing on me. I did already apply my Urban Decay primer potion, but let's go ahead and just like prime the eye a little bit more. I'm gonna go in with the shade Mellow. Ooh, kick up, okay. Okay, that looks nice. Nothing to write home about, but Mellow is all over the lid. Again, we're gonna keep this as simple as possible while also trying some different formulas. I'm gonna go in with the Esom S33 brush, which is just like the perfect size for a little crease brush. And I'm going to go in with the shade Ripe and put that just in my crease to build a little more definition and kind of like color variation. It's blending really beautifully. I could totally stop here and it would just be like a really pretty, simple eye look, but we want to add more of the formulas. I'm going to go in with one of my favorite blending brushes of all time. This is the Morphe Ariel brush collab, which is going to be on sale for Ulta 21 Days of Beauty. And I like to use this just to really help me blend. So I'm just doing like windshield wiper motions back and forth to continue to diffuse that Ripe shade. Okay, so here we have it blended out a little bit more. Now I really want to go into that flash over shade, which is that special Slip Cream Matte formula. I'm going to take a little detailer brush. This is one from Spectrum Cosmetics. And I'm going to go into that flash over shade. This one has like barely any kick up compared to the other mattes. So definitely a different formula. And I'm just going to work this into the crease. Ooh, pretty. I'm going to go back in with the S33 from Esom and just try to blend this in a little more. Blending is absolutely not my forte because I'm one of the most impatient people on planet Earth, and blending well and doing good eyeshadow looks takes patience, and I don't have it. Okay, I'm going back in with a fluffier brush now and just blending that more. If you are actually watching this portion of the video, the tutorial, you are so nice because I don't know why anyone would take eyeshadow tutorial advice from me. So here is the eye with nothing. the eye with those 3 shades. I want to do 2 of the different metallic formulas so I can actually compare what they look like on the eyes. So going back to the list here, oh, Snug is the metal gloss formula. So I'm going to go ahead and use my finger to go into Snug, and I'm just going to apply that all over the lid. That's pretty. Like, nothing to write home about, in my opinion. Like, I don't quite actually know what's unique about that formula, if I'm being honest, compared to the other shimmers. I don't know. Then I'm going to go in with my pinky finger into Elm, which is just one of the normal metallics, and just put that in the inner corner here. Okay, I am gonna add more because why not? I'm gonna take Homey, which is another one of the metallic shades, and I'm actually gonna add this to the outer third of my eye. And that is it for the eyeshadows that I would add for like an everyday look, except I am gonna go in with my Arteze liner brush, and I'm gonna go into that Flash Over shade, which is the one we used in the crease. That is that Slip Cream formula, and I'm gonna do some liner with that. I'm not gonna do anything fancy. I'm gonna do a wing, but going to just add a little bit more definition to the lash line. I'm gonna go off camera. I'm gonna do the other eye, and then I'm gonna apply mascara and liner. Okay, so I finished the eye look. So overall, I would say my eye look turned out fine. Like, considering, again, I'm like not great with eyeshadow, I think it looks fine. Is it like the most beautiful blended, like seamless look? No, but it was fine. I would say if you're a beginner, this palette would definitely be, excuse me, a good option for you. But to be honest, I'm just like, I'm not obsessed. I'm not obsessed the way I was with the I Need a Nude palette. So let me go ahead. I'm going to grab that and a couple of the other Natasha palettes and do some color story comparisons. Unfortunately, I don't have the gold palette. I did order it, hoping it would come in time so I could do a comparison, but we will go with what I have. I pulled a few comparisons from my collection. I think I maybe own every Natasha Denona palette, which is kind of insane. Okay, so let's start off with comparing I Need a Warm to I Need a Nude. Obviously, these are going to be different color stories, but I am still comparing them because I think that, oops, oh my God, you guys. Oh my God. I just smashed my favorite shade in the I Need a Nude palette while trying to show you my comparisons. Filming these videos can be dangerous to the eyeshadow collection sometimes. Okay, so on the top we have I Need a Nude. Down here we have I Need a Warm. Obviously, these are going to be different color stories, but nonetheless, I wanted to show you kind of side by side the difference. I am trying to see if there are any shades that look like they might be similar between the two. And I actually do see a couple of these metallics. So I'm going to do just a few swatches here so we can compare. I feel like Whisper from the I Need a Nude palette might be similar to Elm from the I Need a Warm palette. So this one is Elm. Okay, no, those are two completely different shades. One is definitely warm, one is definitely cool. I would say, to be honest, I'm not seeing overlap between the two. If you have the I Need a Nude, you are perfectly safe to buy I Need a Warm and that there will not be overlap. A palette comparison I'm interested in is the bronze palette, because obviously the bronze one and then I Need a Warm are both warm color stories. So here we have I Need a Bronze, definitely deeper, definitely warmer toned than I Need a Warm. Let's do a little comparison here. I mean, very, very different. I'm looking at the metallics and I don't even really see any overlap in the metallics because the bronze ones are definitely warmer, oranger leaning, as opposed to the warm tone ones, which are just warmer nudes. So I'm also not seeing an overlap, which is good. I appreciate when brands put out eyeshadow palettes that are actually unique compared to the other ones that they've launched previously. I want to give you my final thoughts on this palette. My first impression is that it's just okay. Like, there was nothing wrong with the formulas. Everything applied beautifully, but I wasn't like blown away. I think what's so special about the I Need a Nude palette is the formulas. I feel like the formulas in here are much more interesting. I know the new one claims that they have that like gloss eye. Honestly, applied on my eye, I don't notice a difference between that and the other metallics. But in the I Need a Nude palette, you have these really, really pretty, like kind of like sheer, really, really thin shimmer shades. And I just really love formulas like that because you can really pile them up without your lids getting crepey from adding too many different shades. So yeah, I just like the formula variation in the I Need a Nude palette more. But obviously, if you're not into cool tone shades, this palette's not going to be for you. I'm trying to get better at providing an actual conclusion at the end. So in conclusion, I would say this palette, it was good quality. None of the shades blew me away when I swatched them. They were all very pretty, but nothing I was like, this is super unique or this is really amazing. This is an innovative formula. They were nice. They were good. They were solid. I think for $69 in today's world is actually pretty affordable to get a quality eyeshadow palette. I know that might sound crazy, but I feel like the Patrick Ta ones are now like $80. So to get 15 shades from a luxury brand for $69, I do think the price point sadly is fair. I would say if you're debating between the I Need a Nude and the I Need a Warm, definitely pick up the I Need a Nude because the color story is more unique. I like the formula variations more. This one is fine. I don't think you need to rush out to get it though. If you do decide to get it though, would love if you use my NATASHA DENONA code I will have up on the screen because that will save you 15% on your order. I will also have this linked down below to all the retailers carrying it. If you have questions about the palette, or you want me to do some additional comparisons, please let me know in the comments below. And of course, if you are not already subscribed, would love for you to subscribe and then also follow me on Instagram, please. Really helps me out if you follow me on Instagram as well. That's it. I am so excited to be back on YouTube. More videos coming soon. Thanks so much for tuning in.